In the past, it was confined to like an area inside my head. And it was a belief that that was the case. I think for a few years that belief has not been present. And so if you were to ask me where my consciousness is, I would say either I don't know, or it seems like it's everywhere, or something like that. However, there's a feeling in the body, like in the belly area, kind of centered there, which generates a thought which is like, I feel like I'm in a body. And that thought, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. Because I'm like, what is that? How would you know what feeling like it being in a body is? Or, it's like so irrational. It's like, and so it also feels like it must be this imaginary made up thing that I sort of, came up with an idea of like, this particular thing feels like what it feels like being, this is what it feels like to be in a body. And so kind of a little bit along the lines of what some of these earlier questions have been about, we have this resource of like understanding and intelligence that comes through our perception of sensations, which is, we could describe as irrational, yet there is still this great understanding somehow of sensations. But it's a different kind of understanding than the one that our understanding of thoughts.
Yes, it's different. But for instance, if I say something like, any feeling, any emotion, reality experientially boils down to bodily sensations. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's already a big... So then, when we say there is a me attached to an emotion, for instance, what it really means is that at the origin of the emotion, at the root of it, there is a me. But then there are only bodily sensations. It's like the body has been victimized by the me thing, and then it does what it has to do, because the me things, for instance, has created a fear. And when the body receives a message that there is fear, it does, as I said earlier, keep the breath, discharges adrenaline, etc. Does all kinds of things. Contracts the muscles, contract the blood vessels on the periphery, so that if someone gets you with a knife, you're going to bleed less profusely, etc. I mean, there are all kinds. I'm not an expert. We have doctors here, they know better. But there are obviously mechanisms in the body that in this case are going to get triggered for no valid reason, just because of our imagination. It doesn't. So the question is that the ones that are optional, and of this mechanism, of these emotions, of this sense of lack, are the ones that are related to the belief to be a separate consciousness. And that is really observed experientially right away. We don't need, because otherwise we project things, okay, if we do a lot of yoga, if finally we are going to get rid of this hidden devil in us that possesses us. No, it's in the moment itself that by looking at the reality of the feeling we observe, or of the emotion we observe, knowing it's just a bodily sensation, it's going to lead us into uncharted territory perhaps. Fear is going to arise. Other emotions are going to arise. But if you keep steady, if we keep steady, unafraid by whatever arises, everything is going to unfold. It's just at some point we say, no, it's getting too hot, I don't want to go there, I'm afraid to go there. You have to observe this, it's impossible there. If I go there, I'm going to be unable to make a living, or I'm going to be ostracized from the group and left alone outside in the cold. I mean, all these kind of patterns are there. We should go to the truth of our experience unafraid. And the truth of our experience is not just facing all our possible objections to what is being said here, but also facing another type of objections that cannot be formulated, that are like the one you mentioned here. But what does that feeling here, which appears in consciousness, tells you about your consciousness? Nothing. Yeah. And it doesn't tell you I'm here and not there either. It appears. It's just that we have put a label very early on. That's me, that's not me. Even in the body, if we have a feeling of the little finger, it doesn't really come with that's me. But if you have a feeling here, or here, or here, yes, that's me. Oh yes. Now I have found myself. Here. Okay, I can be at peace now. No. I cannot be at peace. It's a very precarious position. And that generates a lot of suffering down the road. So we cannot accept I'm this or I'm this. No way. Or I am by breath. Or neti. I'm not this, I'm not this.
So what I'm trying to understand from what you're saying, it's so odd because the thoughts are like, yes, of course this is not me. This is just a perception. But then
yes,
somehow there's not this other kind of understanding, or
which other kind?
I don't know. I mean,
when you say, obviously that's not me,
yeah.
then in hindsight you say, oh, that's intellectual, it's not satisfying. But in fact, my contention is, it wasn't intellectual, it was experiential. You clearly established that that which appears in consciousness is not all of consciousness. It's made out of consciousness, like a wave that appears in the ocean. It's not all of the ocean. It's part of you, yes, like anything else. But not more, not less than anything else. That's the point. Whatever appears in consciousness doesn't tell you a greater or lesser proximity to consciousness. because everything appears at zero distance from consciousness. It is not that the experience is not true. It's just that we dismiss after the fact as not being sufficient. And we disbelieve it. We can't believe it, and that's a problem. It's like Albert Camus paying a visit to my teacher in Paris and leaving him, and his last word when saying goodbye were in English, he said it in English, "I can't believe it." No, there is nothing to believe. This is at the point. One way or the other. Just get rid of all beliefs. Just stick to what you can and cannot experience. And that's because this I cannot believe it is, there is oh, I have a gut feeling. Yeah, I understand intellectually what you say, but I have a gut feeling now. What you're saying is BS. No. You have to trust your own experience, or if you distrust it, find something better. Experience something that you can, which is experientially better, and bring it here.
See, I completely agree with you, so I can't figure out what the hell's happening. Like, I'm like, what the, I mean, I'm just like dumbfounded.
But
I guess there's like...
At some point, if you cannot find the alternative version of experience that will disprove what I am saying,
But I'm completely...
at some point you have to give up. You say, if I don't find it, maybe this proves that what is being said here is not true, doesn't exist.
No, but I'm saying, I'm completely agreeing with you. I totally agree with everything you're saying. Everything. So there's some hidden thing happening. So there's something going on, right? There's something weird going on that I don't see. That's because it's like I'm just really puzzled by this.
I know, because it's a mixed. We oscillate from the truth to the residues of ignorance. The truth, there may be something wrong somewhere. I know. It makes sense. I know. There is something wrong somewhere. I have to find it. Yeah. At some point, it becomes clear that we cannot find it. Then we let go of this idea. There is something out there that I cannot find, that is going to prove that I am a separate consciousness. That is going to convince me that I am a separate consciousness. At some point, we have investigated everything, and we have absolutely lost hope that we can find anywhere something that is going to convince us that we are a separate consciousness. A shortcut to this is the understanding that whatever we perceive phenomenally, meaning of the thought, the bodily sensation, or sense perception, cannot tell us whether consciousness is limited or not. Once we understand that, it's a nuclear weapon. It dismisses all the objections in one single shot. Now, once doesn't mean that if we have the weapon, we are going to use it. We need to use it. We need to act in accordance with it. But it enables us to go right to the point. Because then we are convinced, oh no, there is no sensation, nothing in the realm of bodily sensations or of sense perceptions that is going to do it. You see? We need to be convinced that there is nothing that may happen either in the body or in the world that is going to all of a sudden trigger something in us. Ah, no, now I know I am separate. Now it's clear. It's not going to happen.
I'll give this some thought. Yeah. Thank
Then
you.
what remains is just bodily sensation, whatever they are. You don't prove anything. Because we have understood that anything that appears cannot prove anything about consciousness.